imagine? As if you would still go on a holiday with me knowing I'm trying to bang your husband. Okay, so we have an aftermath, finally, on Ask Uncut.
But it's from a good one.
Yeah, we've been calling out for aftermaths, which is, if you don't know what an aftermath is, it's where you guys actually write in what the resolution was, or maybe there wasn't a resolution, to your predicament, to your question. Because quite often we give our advice and we lose sleep over the fact that we don't know what happened. Did you leave? Did you stay? Did you have the baby? Did you tell the cousin that you fucked?
That it's his baby.
Yeah, that it's his baby. Whatever it is. So we always want the aftermaths, but we never or very rarely get them. But we finally got an absolute banger. So just last week, we had the question, just to rehash.
My husband and I travel frequently with another family who have children the same age. It started out as my husband and his friends, but over time, the wife has become one of, if not my best friend. They live interstate, but we talk most days. We are 2 weeks away from an international holiday with them when he asked me in a private message if I was with my husband at the time, and to message back when I was alone. The message I received from him was if I would like to hook up whilst overseas, and at the same time said, obviously don't say a word to them, meaning his wife and also my husband. I actually asked if he was joking, to which he replied, no, but now it's a bit awkward. I brushed it off.
Yeah, joke.
I brushed it off and politely declined as we were about to spend a significant amount of time with them. I am planning on telling my husband that we will need to rearrange our holiday and accommodation plans. She is going to know something has happened. So when she asked me why are we cancelling on them, what do I say? She is my best friend. If roles were reversed, I 100% would want to know. We have always suspected he's probably not 100% faithful to her, but this is just too far. To make matters worse, she is pregnant.
Okay, so this is the follow-up. Now, it's long, but I am going to read it verbatim how she wrote it because I think that's really important, her words. So I thought I'd give you a little more context after reading some of the comments and listening to the podcast. 1, I originally hadn't told my husband straight away because I was shocked. I didn't know what the right thing to do was and didn't realize that changing our holiday plans was doable until the shock left and I could think clearly. Fair. 2, I never had a flirty friendship with this man. He's very sexual. Most conversations end in sexual innuendo, and his wife and I just laugh it off and shake our heads at each other. Now, I think everyone knows that kind of person. I know that exact kind of person that she's saying. You know those friends or acquaintances that you have that everything is sexual?
I also think if they are that type of person where everything ends in a sexual innuendo, I think often, not always, but in my experience,
They're testing the waters.
they're testing the fucking waters. And it often indicates something else that's going on. Maybe they are someone who has that behavior, because someone who is like a steadfast, never cheated, never, ever, ever done anything wrong isn't making jokes about fucking another woman.
Yeah,
They're just not.
they're not.
It's
Not
weird.
Yep.
Not congruent behavior. Liking that word at the moment, but it's true.
So she said, I told my husband and he was absolutely ropeable, which is obvious. Okay.
Couldn't believe it.
That's what we thought was going to happen. He's going to be angry. I then thought in my head, because I played this out as a short film, I thought that the husband would find out and then he would go over to the house, knock on the door, have it out. Okay. That didn't happen. After I told my husband, we decided that we would rearrange the holiday and that I was going to tell her. As I was sussing out a time I could call her because he works away, so I wanted to ring her while he wasn't home. To have this conversation, she sent me a message saying, oh, I heard about your messages with my husband last night. Apparently, prior to him sending me the message, he told her that he was going to play a joke on me. Keep in mind, he didn't tell her what he said until the next day. He's saying it was just a joke, and he was apparently very offended that we thought it was something he would actually do. So what he has said to his wife, he's prefaced this with like, hey, I'm going to play a joke on this couple tonight. But he hasn't told them what the joke was going to be. Obviously covering up his tracks in case it backfired.
Yeah, she goes on to say that if it wasn't a joke, why would he have told her that he was going to play a joke on my husband and then try to cheat? She goes on to say that she feels like if it was supposed to be a joke, he would have called it straight away and maybe posted a screenshot of it in the group chat that they have or something joking to stir my husband up. He would have told me straight away that it was a joke instead of saying nothing. Now, there's a bit more context to this in terms of like whether it is or isn't a joke, but they did go away on the holiday together because I think that the awkwardness of it, they were like, you know what, let's just pretend this hasn't happened and go on the holiday, which wild. I know she even says, like, I know that some people will think that that's crazy, but I guess and I understand why sometimes we do things in life where we're like, oh, sometimes the alternate rocks the boat too much. And the people pleaser in you wants to just like make the awkwardness go away.
I mean, I get it. She said, I left the decision about whether to change our holiday plans up to my husband, and he decided to give the benefit of the doubt, shrug emoji. I know this is probably strange from the outside looking in, but it was really a fucked up situation for us all to be in. We just finished the 1-week holiday abroad with them. It wasn't mentioned and he was fine. The wife acted a bit different than usual, but I put that down to her being hot and pregnant. Now, for me, and I want to use my words carefully, I am shooketh that they went on this holiday. I am absolutely shocked that the husband and the wife decided, and I know you just said, Laura, oh, sometimes it's easier not to make things weird. It is weird. He hit your wife up, he hit you up, and now you're going to go on a holiday. It was very obviously not a joke. And she goes on to say that. She says, what do I ultimately think? I do think he was being serious. I think he told her he was playing a prank on my husband as a backup in case he got caught yelling. It goes back to my original thought of, if it was a joke, why was it all said and sworn to secrecy? I'm shocked that they went on the holiday, because if my best friend's husband hit me up and then said it was a joke, deep down it's not. And she knows deep down it's not.
I know. And I agree, but I do think that this is a case of when something feels more awkward, to do the thing that is right for you. Like, I know that when she wrote in this question, she was like, should we go on the holiday? What do I do? And I'm sure that there was a very big part of her that didn't want to go and felt completely uncomfortable by it. But leaving that decision up to her husband, who probably also felt completely uncomfortable by it and wanted to pretend like, let's get this holiday that's all been planned out of the way and then we can phase them out of our life, is probably the approach that they thought suited them the best. But what I do think, and I know it's really important from what you've said in this, I do not think this was a joke. I think 100% this is this guy covering his ass, because tell me what person out there thinks it's a funny joke to send their best friend's wife a message about cheating. Like, it's not
funny in any capacity.
And I think that's the big thing, right? If everyone was in on the joke, maybe you could pass that off. But the fact that no one was in on the joke until potentially he was going to get caught, until he gauged your reaction, and then the gaslighting nature of like, oh, I'm offended that you actually think I would do this, is such a way of the person who's the cheater.
Jerk face.
The fucking jerk face to make himself the victim. He is making himself the victim and making you feel bad that you interpreted his not joke as not a joke.
I guess this is what I do, right? I always put myself in the situation because it's the easiest thing to do. Imagine if I messaged Matt and was like, hey, next week
I want to hang your curtains.
When we're away, I want you to hang my curtains. No, imagine if I was like, do you want to hook up? Laura's going to be busy with the kids. And then he was like, I fucking love Laura. And I'm like, oh, got ya. That was a funny joke. like imagine as if you would still go on a holiday with me knowing I'm trying to bang your husband.
But that's the gaslighting thing of it, right? And obviously this is the behavior of someone who has gotten away with cheating a lot. And he's very good at lying his way out of things. And this is what I mean by people who are overtly sexual and make overtly sexual jokes, and not just overtly sexual. Anyone can be overtly sexual. That's not a problem. But people who are in relationships who their go-to is to make inappropriate sexual jokes to other people outside of the relationship. Firstly, it's just disrespectful. And secondly, in my experience, those people are often the ones who do the cheating. And I say this because I've seen it in my friendship groups.
And it's not, to be clear, there's nothing wrong with like sexual jokes, especially when they're directed at your partner. Like if you're at a dinner party.
Totally.
Yeah, if there's like 3-4 couples, you're at a dinner party, the opportunity comes up to make a sexual joke that involves your partner, fine. But when it's about fucking someone else's wife at the dinner table, it's too far and it's not funny. And I feel like it's always soaked in a level of truth.
Totally. We used to have a friend many years ago, not me and Matt, but like, another relationship. And he would always joke about leaving our keys in a bowl. So like, as in like couple swapping, right?
Because he's hoping one day you guys say yes.
Yes, when I was in my 20s, he would always joke. Like, and this was my boyfriend at the time's friend, and he would always joke like, "Oh, we'll just come over. Oh, we'll leave the keys in the bowl." The amount of times, the amount of times he was like very, very inappropriate to me, in like the way in which he would make jokes, that it got to a point where it was very similar to this type of situation. Nothing like this, nothing this overt.
You're like, I would come over and there'd be like a bowl of condoms on the dining room
just
table.
had his dick in his hand.
Yeah, it was
Sorry,
so
too
weird.
far.
Yeah.
But I remember my boyfriend at the time just being like, no, we need to phase this out. This is not fucking normal behavior. And it just isn't. This is not normal behavior. Friends don't joke about fucking their friends' wives. They just don't.
Yeah, secretly.
Yeah, behind
Behind their back in the DMs, is your husband around?